I'm based in Ontario, Canada, and I have a business of my own. It is into the education field, and I have recently come back to building websites. I had done that in 2014 and 15, but had a long break. I was in my corporate career then, and now, yeah, it's really exciting. Things are moving well for me, and I have you to thank for that. Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks a lot. Well, you obviously did all the hard work, and I just happened to be around to hear the story, but I appreciate you saying that. Well, you mentioned that you were dabbling previously a few years ago. So, can you tell us about that experience a little bit and like why did you take a break?
So we were back in India, and we had started this website where India was booming as far as e-commerce was concerned. So we were reviewing e-commerce websites and kind of trying to tell which one's better than the other when it comes to ordering small products. And we really did not know what we were doing. My wife is a fabulous writer. She's a published author. She could dish out amazing content, but we had no idea what keyword research is. And basically, a few websites noticed us, they sent us their stuff, but it just fell flat on its face. So that was one. And then I tried a couple of other things. I tried, I think it was some sort of a listing of businesses and some sort of finance stuff. I'm an MBA. So, but really nothing took off because I didn't know what I was doing. And that was the end of that. All this while, my wife, she has her website, so I kind of managed that. So I knew a little bit about that, but it's essentially about the books that she writes. So it's not monetized in any way.
Gotcha. And do you have somewhat of a technical background as well, or more on the business side with your MBA?
I do have a computer engineering degree, so I understand how things work, but that's pretty much it for the most part, in the sense that I cannot do any programming. I can look into code, and I can do a little bit of insertion of things in my functions.php, but that's I just Google and go with the flow.
Sure. That's pretty much what I can do now too. It's like the code doesn't scare me, but I can't really do anything helpful. I can usually just mess things up. Usually just mess things up a little bit. So, all right. So you got back into it back in April. So can you tell us like what was the origin story there? Like how did you find my stuff, for example, and why are we talking today?
Okay. So the backstory, how it goes is that I wanted to. So my other business, my offline business, was doing fairly okay. So I wanted to kind of expand and acquire another business. And one of my friends, he used to work for McKinsey, and so he had some serious consulting jobs with, as far as his how his mind works. So he told me that it might be a good idea for me to acquire an online business, and I had no idea what online businesses are or do they even sell. But as I started finding more about it, I figured that yes, I probably can. So I figured out a couple of places. Human Proof Designs was one of them, and then there was another one with which I ended up going, which was another underwhelming experience, to be very honest. But I figured that I can pretty much buy a business from my credit card and scale it. So that's how I started off. Now my wife was really against that because since 2014 till 2019-20, I had more the unsuccessful business ventures, let's put it this way, to my name than successful ones. So, I mean, trust deficit is a strong word, but she didn't really feel that we were ready to do something like that. But anyway, she relented. She saw that I really wanted to do something, so she gave in, and I went ahead and bought an existing website. It was doing about $200 a month, and 10 days later, the commission rate change happened. And I happened to be in a niche that was very, very severely impacted. So my revenue came down to 30 or $40 a month, maybe $50 a month. So and I was all alone in the sense that there was lockdown. I could not speak to anyone. I could not tell my wife. So she's she's going to laugh when she listens to this podcast. but I just could not tell anyone. So yeah, that happened, and in the changeover process, Amazon threw the website out because they said that it was violating some of its terms. So I reached back to the sellers, and they had no idea that they were violating. And then I wrote back to Amazon saying what was wrong. So they told me that there were some comparison tables that they were using, and on those tables they had very specifically mentioned this is best. So that's what they had a problem with. So anyway, I got rid of that, reapplied, got back into the program, and yeah, that was the start. So basically, I had a very rough start, and I was really looking for someone to follow or someone to help me out. And yeah, that's when I came across you. I heard the KGR, which was really, I'm a very math person, so that really gave me a framework to work with. And as soon as I had a framework, I knew that I can pick this and run with it. So that's exactly what I did.